Okay, today we are starting on Inventor. Just want to go through a couple of things with you so you understand how Inventor actually works. So you have basically 4 different file types that we will create in Inventor. And when you open up the first home screen in Inventor, you will see those different types. So here where it says new, we've got where we can create a new part. Now that creates the 3-dimensional part that we want to actually model. You have a assembly drawing. The assembly drawing takes your 3-dimensional part, combines it with other 3-dimensional parts to make your overall assembly, and there are different constraints that you will use to attach those parts together. Then of course we have our drawing file to create that, and in the drawing file we are taking and importing a part file, putting dimensions, and actually creating a working drawing. This is your blueprint, so to say, of what would go out onto the shop floor for a worker to physically make that part for you. And then we have what's called a presentation file. Now the presentation file is what you get your exploded views. Basically we're taking the assembly drawing and we're pulling all of those pieces apart to kind of show somebody who would have to assemble this how the whole thing goes together. Now it's important to remember Inventor has file associativity. So all of these are related, and you have to make sure that you download all of these parts. If you're working on it, pay attention to what the file extensions are and downloading those so that you don't lose track of your actual files. Now we do need to talk about some file extensions. When you are creating a new part, that is going to create what we call a .ipt. So that is the file extension for a part file. Your assembly file extension is a .iam. So you'll have to recognize what those different file types are. Those are probably the two that we would be working in most. We're also going to be creating drawing files, and here you have choices. You can create a IDW or a .dwg. Of course, a .dwg is more standard in industry and widely transferable between different types of CAD software, where you could open it up in other types of CAD software. Your presentation file, the file extension there is a .ipm, so you need to get to know those file extensions. Again, your part file is a .ipt. Your assembly file is a .iam. Your drawing file is either a IDW or a .dwg, and your presentation file here is a .ipm. Now, a couple other things from the home page that we want to get into and talk about. At any time, if you go up here to your My Home panel, if you click on the tutorial window or tutorial gallery, you'll notice that there are some different videos available through Autodesk that you can watch. Ones that I would probably recommend starting with is your fundamentals and your overview. Start with your overview, and then you watch some fundamentals, and that gives you some basic ideas of sketching parts. And of course it breaks down sketching 1, 2, and 3 here for you. You can get into actual parts and then assemblies, so you've got that. Now what I also want you to realize is what they call here a learning path. Now we're going to be doing this as we go, but this learning path kind of shows you here where you start. And what I like about this, first we're going to start in a part file. We're going to create sketches, then we're going to extrude those to give our part some geometry. So this is where we create all the geometry, then we extrude that to give it 3D geometry. Then from the part file, then we'll go up to assembly, where we combine all those parts. We'll put a drawing file together, which puts all of our information into a working drawing, and then we'll be more or less finished. And you may or may not need a presentation file, depending on what you're actually doing. At any time, we just go back and click the home screen. You can go back up here and get to your main home menu where you can start, and you can either start by clicking on new part here, or of course you can go up here to File, New Part, and create it there. So, and you'll be given those different options. So a couple different ways that you can get started as you go to draw. So pay attention. We're going to create a few parts today, and I will go in my next video. We'll kind of go over the part application and your ribbon and some of the different drawing tools that we have to create a new part.